Kerensky, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic, Kerensky. I've actually been looking forward to this one. So we've had hundreds of guests on Calf Kick Sports, people from all over the globe. What I was mainly kind of particularly excited about was the fact that you're from South India. We've only ever had one other South Indian on the show. And
Okay.
yeah, as a countryman, I get like super excited. I'm super proud of the fact that you're repping South India. And just to kind of start off with the first question, how was it kind of coming to your family? Because I know, fighting isn't a conventional path yet for a lot of South Indians in terms of a career path. Was it kind of easy or hard to convince them, look, I want to fight for a living?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't know that I wanted to take this as a career. I
Yeah,
was just like, oh, I want to fight. I started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and then Muay Thai and slowly eased into MMA.
yeah.
But in the beginning, my dad were a bit like, do you really want to do this? Like, I don't know what's going to happen and stuff. But my sisters have been really supportive towards me in terms of me having this as a career. And I took my mom and dad for my first fight.
Oh, no
After
way.
that, yeah. And after that, they were just like, you know what? Do what you got to do. And it was kind of, I feel like it was very easy having my sisters support me and just be there at the back. So they did most of the talking. So I didn't really deal with my mom and dad like that.
Yeah.
And they've been all right, actually.
Yeah, because again, it's just from my own experiences. Like I'm even running this podcast. My parents are like, so what is this 2 years in? They're like, what is this MMA thing? I'm like, bloody hell, man. It's been 2 years. You still don't get it. And again, it's just not a conventional path at all. Is it like
Yeah.
a more of a fear that you might get hurt or anything like that? Or
I mean, so my mom did ask my sister, what if she, has her face broken or something? And my sister's answer to her was like, oh, she's going to make enough money. I think we can fix it. you know,
that's a answer, man.
That's
That's
the confidence she has in me. And I was like, okay, cool, brilliant.
yeah. Does it give you more kind of optimism as well? Because now we've got more Indians coming into the UFC. Puja, Tomar, Anshul, Jubli. It is picking up steam a little bit in terms of how the sport is evolving around the Indian MMA scene. Does that give you
Yes.
optimism, or is that something you're kind of just indifferent about?
Um, I mean, in a way, yes, because it's good to see my own people doing good and getting recognized in big promotions like UFC and stuff. So it definitely makes it good. But obviously, when I started back in 2020,
Yeah.
no, 2019. About yeah, so when I started doing BJJ, I didn't hear of anybody who did MMA or anything who was an Indian. So I was like, okay, cool. Am I gonna be the first one? kind of thing. Oh, okay, cool. Puja Tomar's taken over. Anshul Jubli is taken over. So it's very nice to see them already on the big stage doing what they've got to do, and they're winning.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So kind of changing gears, you started off with a bit of an unconventional path. You started off with weightlifting, in fact, won a
Yes.
competition here and there. You got a little bit bored of it, but just out of curiosity, because that's something I enjoy. Is that
Yeah.
how did you get into it?
I was well actually for so I've always been into sport from childhood. I
Yeah,
was a runner. I was playing for volleyball for my school team and stuff. And when I came here to London, in my college, they had a volleyball team, and I went to play volleyball.
yeah,
And coach was a volleyball coach as well. He was doing that as a part-time thing, and he spotted me at a volleyball court,
yeah, yeah.
and he was like, by weightlifting. You seem like the type to lift weights, and you seem like you're very mobile and just jumping around doing your thing. And I was like, I looked at this guy because he was this old man looking at me like, I was like, man, what? But yeah, I gave it a try. And when I went to his gym, I was amazed. I was blown away with the amount of people that were there. Even his own daughter was a 3 times in a row British champion.
Wow.
Uh, and stuff. I was blown away. I was like, man, I want to get strong like them. I want to do this. And that was a crazy part of me beginning to do Olympic weightlifting on a whole. Yeah, and I did it for like 3 years. I was obsessed with it. I just wanted to get strong.
Yeah, I did a deep dive because we do this with everyone. We just go through everyone's Instagram right from the first post, yeah. And you were completely obsessed. 10 years back, in fact, you know, I just saw so many pictures of you doing the clean jerks and all that kind of stuff. What was there kind of a gradual process as to why you got bored of it, or it just came overnight?
I was getting fat to start off with, always being fit, and I was just sprinting. I was doing everything,
Yeah.
and with weightlifting it's just clean and jerk and snatch, squats, deadlifts, and press overheads. Basically, it's a very great sport to build strength. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. I was obsessed with it for 3 years, but obviously, I'm a British champion myself. I've done the London Youth and all of them. I won all of them.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was getting fat. I was just eating, lifting, lifting, and that was my life. And I wanted something that was more, you know, I needed something more to it than just training that much and then lifting. And you get to a point where it's just like, is this really what I want to do?
Yeah. Yeah, and
I
you've
didn't
also
really.
got to think of the long term, you know, aspect as well. Like, is it something that I can make a career out of? Can I make some money out of it? Was that also an aspect of you, you know, you thinking, I don't know, like if this is something long term for me?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because in the beginning, I thought maybe I'd start coaching, and I was a coach for weightlifting. I still am, but I don't really enjoy coaching that much.
Really?
So yeah, no,
Wow.
coaching is not. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to teach someone who's training with me, and like you'd be like, oh, okay, cool, you're doing something wrong or something like that. But like coaching, I think if I put my mind to it, I'd be a good coach. But like, it's not something I'm looking forward to right now. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. How did you get into Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? Because I know that's a massive passion of yours. You know, you're a huge kind of fan of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I know a lot of the girls in Great British Top Tech because we've interviewed them. Some of them just
Yeah.
aren't, you know, as they weren't into it at the beginning. Like, for example, Kate Bassick, she had a hilarious line. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna just, you know, you're gonna, if you keep me down, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna stand up, like, or something like that. She had no respect for it. Chanel wasn't a big fan of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu at the beginning. Were you always a
Yeah.
fan of it, or like, did it take some time to kind of get into the sport?
To be honest, I didn't even know I wanted to do like fighting. It was just when I stopped weightlifting, I had like a 2 month gap, and
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to do building at the time, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll start getting fit or something, because I really went fat, and I was like, yeah, I need to lose some weight. So bodybuilding was in the picture, and my sister wanted to do the Muay Thai thing, and she was like, oh, I found this gym.
Yeah.
Uh, Coach here, he seems cool. I'm gonna try it out. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll tag along. I went to the gym. We both went for a trial class of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Muay Thai on 2 different days.
Okay.
I really Brazilian Jiu Jitsu on the very first day. I did it. I was dying, but it was something that, because I had to run around and like, use a lot of my gas tank and stuff. I really enjoyed it. So I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And my coach back then, he asked me, is like, are you just doing it for fitness, or you really want to fight or something? And I was like, imagine that's my trial class. I was like, I want to fight. This is
Sure.
nice. Yeah, it was like from day one, I was just like, yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah. And you're, you know, just going by you know, your fights as well as some of the accomplishments you've had throughout jiu-jitsu, you know, my assumption is you're naturally talented at it. It's something that you've kind of picked up quite quickly. Is it safe to say that?
Yes. Uh, to be honest, I had my first Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in just 2 months of training, or even less, I think.
Yeah.
First Jiu Jitsu comp, I was losing up for a no-gi competition. Um, I think it was the last run. I lost 2 games before that. And the last one that I was doing, I was losing that one as well. And I don't know what came into my mind. I changed the whole game around. I won the game. So I don't know. I think I just had it. It was something that I really liked. I really enjoyed doing, and it just happened.
Yes, I might have got this mixed up because I know you did Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu kind of around the same time. Was it
Yeah.
Muay Thai first and then Brazilian Jiu Jitsu then?
No, I started both of them at the same time, but I was more competing into Brazilian Jiu Jitsu than Muay Thai. I had about 4 or 5 fights in Muay Thai, and I did
Yeah.
really well in them.
Yes, I
They were,
saw. Yeah, I saw I think it was a head kick as well. I was like, damn.
yeah,
Savage.
that was my.
Was that your first one? Crazy. Great. How did you? So obviously you never fought before that, yeah. How did you get into that killer instinct? Because you're such a nice person, Kerensky. Other people that are just kind of seeing it from the outside, that don't know you, that don't know you even in fire, like complete stranger, like you fight. Like, how do you switch that on?
Uh, I don't know. It just at the time it's like, yeah, I've asked for it. I've chosen it to do it. So I think it's like a sudden switch that automatically comes on because even in the gym, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. But when we start sparring, I'm a whole different person.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. It just happens, you know?
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's probably just a natural process. And Brazilian Jiu
Yeah.
Jitsu, as well as Muay Thai, excellent basis for MMA. Just to go into. And was that just easy? It was just like, yeah, of course I'm going to do MMA. Easy.
No, I didn't even think about MMA. It's later on when I started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Muay Thai separately. Me and my sisters were just, having a look at Conor McGregor, for a matter of fact. And that's where I was like, oh, there's something like that. That's really nice. And then I started bothering my coach, to be honest, with, yeah, so what's MMA like?
Yeah, yeah.
So how is it? Like, are we going to have more MMA classes over here and stuff? And that's when he brought Mike Ekundeo down and we started training with him.
Yeah. Was it so that's quite interesting. Conor McGregor was like a big you looked at him and you're like, I bet I could get some money like this. No?
Oh, 100%.
get some big paydays and what have you. Great British top team for about 4 years now. So I think I read or watched somewhere that you've been there since August of 2020. What would you say is kind of like the biggest lessons that or the biggest lesson you've learned since being there over the last 4 years?
Um, Everything. I started off my MMA journey with them.
Yeah.
So everything that is installed into me for MMA is everything that I've got from Great Britain top team. I mean, Brad's an amazing coach. Ashley Grimshaw is a great coach. I started off with my striking with Wesley Maya, and he's an amazing coach. So everything, whether it comes to being I know it's an individual sport, but like just being a team and being around all the people out there, it's a whole different vibe and it's really nice. I really enjoy being there. And it's constant support from all of them, not just my coaches, but my teammates as well. Like, I've had some I've literally grown with them over the
Yeah.
time. We've just known what days we are fine. We're very considerate like that, even though it's MMA and it's like everyone's with killer instincts trying to take your head off. But like, but everyone's really nice. I'd say I've taken a lot of things from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much looks like a family at this point. Everyone I speak to has been super nice. All of you guys are pretty exciting to talk to. You funny people to talk to as well.
I think everyone's just nice.
Yeah.
On a like, I think we all have that little switch the moment we are on the mat or in a cage, and then we are all different. Like, but everyone else, they're just calm. I mean, for a matter of fact, Brad, he's a prankster. He pranks everyone.
Yeah.
So, and he's a legend, literally. Like, so yeah, all of us are like that.
Yeah, 100%, man. Brad Pickett is building insane team out there.
Yeah.
I asked this to Shane Campbell, yeah. So is Brad Pickett and Ashley Grimshaw, is it a bit like a good cop, bad cop scenario in terms of you've got Ashley Grimshaw that can be a little bit more mean, and you got Brad Pickett that can be the nice one? Obviously you need balance like that, but is that kind of fair to say?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what keeps us going as well, but I wouldn't say bad cop, good cop. It's in times that they really need to be. Otherwise, both of
Yeah.
them are quite. Yeah, Ash can be blunt. Brad's a diplomat, so but it works well. I
Yeah.
think sometimes you go through it, and sometimes you just need to make decisions by yourself. So it's good.
Yeah. Changing gears a little bit. I saw your fight with Lindsay Payne. Yeah, I saw it a day or two ago, and I was looking at, I'm like, damn, man, like intense. Yeah, you've got really good cardio base. What do you do for cardio?
Run,
Yeah,
sprint.
it's the main thing. Yeah, like, is there anything extra you do? Because
Plus,
man, it's just the pace.
I train with some really good people, and you can't be slow paced with them because people that I've been training with have experience of years of experience, and me training with them, they're already at a level, and for me to match up to them, I need to be even, I've got to. The moment I feel like I'm catching up to them, they have something new, so I've got to like be in that frame of mind where you know what, I can't slack back.
Yeah,
So it's a constant thing of me just being consistent, showing up and just doing. And we have so many rounds at GB Top Team
yeah,
that kills you, you know, that builds gas tank by itself.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys just based off the footage and me following the page, you guys put on a lot of work in that gym for sure.
Yeah.
So just going by your last fight, obviously it didn't go your way, unfortunately. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned from that?
It's the first time I fought at 57 actually,
Yeah,
and obviously I was having some crazy time during the camp as well. I hurt myself a couple of times, so camp was good, but at the same time I had my fallbacks as well. So it was, I feel like I took it really lightly, and I was like, okay, cool. It was a big stage, it was a big platform, everything, but I still took it very lightly, and I learned my lesson from there. And I think I'm in a way better space right now,
yeah,
headspace as well. Mentally, I think mentally when we are back, it's very hard to show it in the game, and no matter how much you try, it doesn't show up in the game. Like no matter what you do, if your mental space is not proper. So I think I'm in a way better place right now mentally, so I feel better. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, like now I'm hungry. I
yeah.
just want to fight.
Definitely. Are you looking to fight anytime soon this year, or when
Yeah.
would you like to fight?
Um. Well, I'm still waiting for a confirmation from my opponent, so hopefully
Ooh.
soon, that July, if I do fight.
Oh, so in July, yeah, potentially. That's very soon.
Yes, July the 13th.
Oh, so it's officially, but are you just waiting for them to confirm it on their side?
To get confirmed. I'm just waiting on them. And if it's happening, then yeah, for sure, I'm going to be fighting on Cage Warrior Southeast.
Oh, wow, that's huge. It's a big deal. Um,
Yeah,
so but you're not got like a camp essentially. Just you're just training constantly at the moment.
I'm just training at the moment, just doing my thing.
Nice
I
one.
was actually, my opponent was confirmed for Cage Warriors.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, but then I saw a poster of her on with someone else, and then I was like, wait, wasn't that fight confirmed? Um, but yeah, they were like, oh, she's fighting a different category, and so now I'm just still waiting for an opponent, you know.
yeah,
And I said it's a bit messed up, so
yeah.
I'm in, but not in camp. I don't know.
Yeah, so I heard this from Kate and other people as well. Like they just said, it's so hard to get fights here in England as a woman. It's really difficult. And it's funny because she said, all right, I'm gonna go from amateur to pro and I'm gonna get a lot more fights. And it just ends up being the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
what is that? What is that? Why?
I do. What's up with the woman side of fighting? Because I feel like right now MMA is peaking
Yeah.
so that woman fighters should be there. There are so many women fighters. It's just that nobody's accepting fights. There's pullouts, there's fight cancellations, there's so many things going on. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, that's an unfortunate part of the business. But hey, at least at the end of the day, 10, 15 years ago, you you barely had any women fighters in the UK, isn't it? It's just blown up like massively.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think I am on it, blessed to be in this time right now to have so many women fighters. Even at GB, us being about, it's at least more than 5 girls on the mat. So it's very nice to have that.
Yeah.
Not.
Do you go back to just randomly? Do you ever go back to go on a frequent basis? Has it been a while since you've been back? Because yeah, like, are you still connected to there regularly?
Oh yeah, 100%. I've lived in Goa for 16 years of my life.
Yeah.
My mom and dad. Yes, I do go frequently, but the last time I was in Goa was like 2 years back.
Mhm.
So it's a while, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But I do a strong base in Goa. I have a lot of friends and family and a lot of neighbors. And I do speak the Goan language as well, so I can connect to them even better.
Yeah, so I was speaking to a friend who's going. I'm like, yo, give me some questions, yeah. help me with some good questions, yeah. And he's like, yeah, like just ask her if she's a laid back person because Goans could be quite laid back. So yeah, that's my question to you. Are you would you say you're laid back? I imagine you're not so much because you're in the MMA space. But how would you describe yourself?
I mean, that's the tagline given to Goan. It's called Susegad Goenkar. So it's just Susegad means just relaxed and calm. Yes, I mean, I do like to be laid back sometimes, but obviously being in the sport that I'm at,
Yeah,
I've got to be on all times,
yeah,
and not really, not anymore. I mean, back, I it's kind of 50-50,
yeah. It's only when you
Yeah,
go back, isn't it? It brings that
yeah,
side a bit more, no?
yeah. But I think even when I'm in Goa, it's just like um they say it's Susegad, but everyone's out. Everyone's wanting to do something or the other. They're like, oh, let's go here, let's do this, let's do that. So it's never really like you're just relaxing and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, yeah, fair play. Um, Changing gears. So, what would you say? You've not been following MMA like for years and years, but I'm very curious about this. Who would you say is your favorite MMA fighter of all time?
In girls or a guy?
It could be both. It could be out of anyone.
Ah, well, I've always liked Amanda Nunes because I feel like she was really good. Um, and when I started following female MMA, she was the first one I looked at, and she's got this kind of a look on her where you're just like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the look I want. So yeah, Amanda Nunes is one. And in the guys, I'd say it's very hard to say. It's very hard to pick one because I have Conor McGregor, I have John Jones, I've got Jose Aldo, I've got GSP.
yeah.
Uh,
That's very
yeah, there's no, I can't really pick one. Um, so all of them.
Yeah, that's a good list. That's a good list.
Yeah.
We love to ask this question. How do you deal with anxiety going into a fight? Is that a thing for you, or is that something that you've got to constantly work on when you're in fight camp and going into a war?
Like I've said, I've always done sports. So since childhood, my brain's just wired for the fact that, oh, I've got to go and do it.
Yeah,
So never really felt like an anxious feeling. I'm very calm before a fight. Is as surprising as it sounds because my coach has to like literally when I'm hitting pads, he has to really get me out of that calmness. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now I've got to switch on and like do more of that. If I'm not warmed up enough, then it's a whole different scene. I'm more calm and I'm relaxed.
yeah,
So it's the other way around actually. And anxiety, yeah, sometimes when I think about it, it's just the thoughts that pass my head that, oh, I'm gonna be fighting, I'm gonna be locked up in a cage and stuff. But it's not a lot. Like I have it under control automatically. I think it's just the fact that I've always been into sport and I've always had this competitive mind of mine. So anxiety is just automatically on a low.
yeah. It's something. Well, just assumptively, it's something you probably trained your mind on for a long, long time. So even before
Yeah,
fighting, it's just like, yeah, it's just another sport, isn't it?
yeah.
Where would you see yourself, Kerensky, in 5 years' time?
That's a very I haven't thought about it in a very long time because somebody said to me, oh, 13 years down the line, you might need something and you might end up, coaching would be part of your life or something.
Yeah,
So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. What are you asking me 13 years down the line? So 5 years down the line is still a lot, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say 5 years down the line, I'd probably be rich, uh,
Nice. I like that.
top of the sport, and at a good place, at a definitely good place.
Would you like to kind of, is because everyone has this goal of, yeah, I want to go to the UFC, or another big promotion, but yeah, it's mainly just the UFC where everyone kind of aims for. Is that the goal,
Yeah.
or do you just want to be in a big promotion like the PFL, ONE FC, that kind of thing?
I mean, UFC is the goal of everyone because
Yeah,
back in the days, PFL and One Championship didn't exist in my eyes. It
yeah,
was just UFC. So obviously, when I look at the bigger picture, I only think about UFC. But obviously, if PFL has my division, I'd definitely jump into it. And One Championship, of course, it's a big time thing right now. So why not? Definitely. I
yeah,
mean, it's MMA,
100%.
right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Last question for you, Kerensky. A little bit of an unorthodox one. So, Great British Top Team, they've got Bluetooth connected speakers, and I know, Kate Bassick and I think it's Nathaniel Wood. No, they've fought over the speakers a few times. What would your playlist be if you just had complete control of the speakers? What would it sound like? What's the kind of vibe there?
I'd go with Kate. But at the same time, there are days that I would also look at Nathaniel's playlist
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I on relax mode. But I've got like I don't really have a choice of music. I just feel like sometimes I'm like R&B hip hop. Sometimes I'll be like trance. Sometimes I'll be like EDM. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I think I need some melodic house. It keeps changing all the time, so I'd have a mix of everything. I think like a big fusion.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I wasn't expecting you to be like a massive draw fan. Since you like Kate's music.
No, there's well, how can I forget that? That's like my all-time favorite.
Yeah, I mean it does. I mean, I like drill as well.
Yeah.
But it can be kind of does it is it a good kind of song to come out to for an entrance song? Is that something you'd ever do? I could imagine you just get a little bit more tense, no?
Um, to be honest, my first fight, I was supposed to play some rock song and it up and played Kanye West, Can't Tell Me Nothing. And I was like, wow, from a hard beat to a calm, relaxing one. So I was so mad when I was walking out the first time. But I think I had that song stuck to me for like the next 2, 3 fights.
Yeah.
Um, changed to One Nation Army. So I've had like a complete two different kind of a thing. So I can't really drill is something I really have to be in the zone of thinking about drill when I'm even like fighting or something, and like just sparring or something in the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, Kerensky, thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been an awesome guest. Really enjoyed speaking to you today. But look, the final word goes out to you. Shout out whoever you need to shout out. Kind of plug anything that you'd like to plug. Go for it, Kerensky. It is your spotlight.
Well, I'd really like to have a fight on Cage Warriors. So could you please find me an opponent? All I really wish to right now, because I am training hard,
Yeah,
and I definitely have an opponent for Cage Warriors.
awesome. You hear that, Cage Warriors? We'll tag them as well. Get her a fight as soon as possible. But thank you so much, Kerensky. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you fight in the next month.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. Thanks.